So Tim quit. um, just kidding.
Just went right for it. Jesus Christ.
I told you, dude. First words. Welcome back, everyone. Coin Drop Podcast, official episode number 2, actual episode number 22. Mike is back with me here. Tim, I'm assuming, passed out or has some family things going on. He did not die, and he did not quit. He was not forced out. None of those things happened, but me and Mike thought it'd be funny if we said that first thing going into the podcast. So
I honestly was like happy about that, but you sent it.
Oh yeah.
You just went for it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I don't fuck around. So once again, for our Twitch viewers, which I think there's all 2 of you maybe out there, and maybe 7 or so. So all 1 of you out there, and maybe 7 or so potential people who watch this on YouTube, you don't get any lovely visuals again because I suck at my job in prepping for this. So you're just gonna have to fucking deal with it, I guess. I fell off a ladder on Monday and damn near broke my foot, and actually think I broke my toe. I've actually got to go back and get an ultrasound and shit done. So deal with it. Yeah, no, it sucked. It was great. I was doing some fiber hanging, and the wire was sagging just enough that like my ladder went like, hey, let's go for a ride, and decided to slide down the fiber line going to the left, and jumped off a 12-foot ladder. Didn't feel good. Still doesn't feel good.
Gravity's a real drag.
Dude, gravity is a massive hoe. Let's just... Can we just get rid of it? Like, find Isaac Newton, dig him up, and spit in his face. Better yet, spit in his Denny's Grand Slam.
Undiscover it.
Yeah, can we just unknow it? Can it unexist? Anyway, fuck gravity. Let's talk about some video games. And we don't have much to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. I know there was actually a decent amount of news, most of it in the form of a Nintendo Direct that happened, I think, yesterday or the day before. Do you know, Mike? It happened recently, like real recent.
I was probably cleaning a car, so probably like 2 days ago.
Okay. Well, regardless of when it was, I'm not going to bother fucking Googling that. It happened. Go watch it. I didn't do my homework. Like I said, it's been kind of a fucked week. But I guess they announced a bunch of RPGs, some JRPGs, some other stuff. I don't know what they have left to announce at this point, other than the Switch 2, and I definitely know they didn't do that.
They had announced F-Zero. They're apparently bringing F-Zero back, but
weird.
Like a racing battle royale.
So they're doing
actual F-Zero.
So they're doing Stampede, like that game that just hit early access. Okay, so they're doing Stampede.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's Mario Kart with F-Zero characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, it's better. It's better than taking like F-Zero and going into an adventure game, a la Star Fox on the GameCube. I don't remember which one that was called, but like that was... Let's take a flying space game and turn it into a third-person perspective adventure game, which like inherently sounds like a good idea. Horrible execution. Anyways, so I briefly talked about this topic last week. I only gave my initial review of it. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, the recently released mobile reimagining of the Final Fantasy story that is supposed to encapsulate everything. Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, as well as Final Fantasy VII First Soldier, which is a new thing they built for Sephiroth's story. Spoiler alert.
So much in that.
Spoiler alert, you don't fucking play as Sephiroth in the story they tell you is about fucking Sephiroth. Just first gripe on the table. Just putting it out there. Anthony, I'm calling you out by name. I'm gonna have an email for you, man. We got some talking. I need some answers. Anthony's the guy I met at PAX. He told me, hooked me up with his PR info. I'm not gonna do anything more than just the initial. Tony, we're gonna have a talk, man. I need some answers. I need some answers here. There were some bad decisions, and somebody needs to say some things. So
just send him one single email, and it just says, "What the fuck, bro?"
Yeah, what the fuck is Ever Crisis? So, for those of you who haven't played it, just imagine every single gacha mechanic you could possibly put in a mobile game, and then place Final Fantasy skins over the top of it.
Nice.
And it goes even further. So the first hang up I had with the game, you don't unlock everything immediately in terms of like upgrading your armor, upgrading your characters, upgrading your weapons. Like you unlock that gradually. So, okay, that makes sense. That's how most RPGs do things, right? Mm-hmm. First issue. I was playing through the Final Fantasy VII game. The what they consider the game, which let me tell you is like 5 to 10 minute missions. They somehow managed to shrink the beginning of Final Fantasy VII to where you fall and meet Aerith into 15 minutes of gameplay.
I already hate it.
Yeah. Literally, dude, the only thing this game has going for it is its graphics, because I love that it kind of stays true to the old school graphic style, but modernizes it a lot. I fucking love that. I wish they would just take that and put it over the old Final Fantasy VII, but they didn't do that. So, beyond that, once you complete the mission, again, spoiler alert, I guess, if you fucking care, if it matters. Once you complete the mission where you blow up the second Mako reactor, you go and meet Aerith, you fall into the church, you fight Reno. The game then goes, yeah, you can't continue to play the main story until you go play Crisis Core. So, like, it unlocks Crisis Core. It tells you, like, in the menu, you've got, like, the 3 stories. You've got, like, Final Fantasy VII, then you've got Crisis Core, then you got First Soldier. And it tells you it unlocks Crisis Core after you hit a certain point in the main base game, right? So it's like, oh, okay, cool. I'll unlock this at some point. Yeah, you have to play that because now you can't play Final Fantasy VII base game. It's locked, and it's not even locked. Here's the best part, dude. Not even locked until you complete a certain point in Crisis Core. It's locked until you complete a certain point in First Soldier. Yeah.
Podcast is over.
Mike's gonna go burn the world down. So yeah, not only is it locked until after you play through Crisis Core to a certain point, then after you hit that certain point, then you can play First Soldier, which admittedly I did want to play. Like, that was very interesting to me. And then you get to a certain point in that, and you can go back to the main story. Yep.
For our audio listeners, I'm just shaking my head vigorously while Russ is explaining this, because I hate every second of it.
Yeah, it's great. So, okay, so, all right, so here we go. The majority of the game up to fighting... Did you play Crisis Core? Have you played the old one, the remake... Any Crisis Core? Okay, so do you remember when you fight Ifrit, when he gets summoned in Wutai?
Vaguely, yeah.
So that fight is also in Ever Crisis. Obviously, most of the fights are, but they're like very scaled down versions. That fight is also in Ever Crisis, and dude, so they do the stupid recommended power level thing, right? Like, oh, make sure you're this power level, make sure you got this equipment for these and that. Yeah.
Modern day RPG shit.
And mobile on top of that, right? So it's like, you should be this power level. I was 1,300 power above the recommended power level and getting my poop pushed in like a $2 whore on fucking Sprague Street. Like, I was getting beat the fuck up. Like, man was clapping my cheeks like he was paid to do it. Dude. Listen, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this, dude. This man was beating it up. And I'm like, I legitimately, like, I got to the point where I leveled up my weapons as far as I possibly could without spending money. I hadn't unlocked the ability to level up my character yet. So literally the only thing I could do was either spend money on microtransactions to hopefully get a better weapon, which wasn't going to happen because I was already incredibly lucky enough to get a 5-star Zweihander, however you want to pronounce it. And that's already capped out as far as I can fucking level it. And I'm trying to fight him. And Zach is just getting his poop pushed in because he can't take a hit for nothing. Like, dude, Ifrit was taking out half my health with one hit, and the man does a 3-tap combo.
Yes.
So, after digging in the game, because I'm like, okay, maybe I just need to level the character up more. How do I do that? Well, if you go back and play story missions, you don't get anything. Nothing. There's no reason to do that. 0 XP, nothing. Okay, so how do I level up my character? So, okay, do I have to go into, I've got to go into solo content, which is just like random battles, but you have to have a certain power level to do that, so you've got to take people with you. Oh, I can't choose Zach. Oh, wait, no, here, hidden in this little fucking left-hand corner, I can click characters and change the character. Cool, now I can level up my character. Oh, it uses stamina. Of course it does. So I can only do so many of these a day or hour or week or whatever the fuck the case is without obviously paying more money and getting more stamina. Great, fucking awesome. So after doing that and getting an extra 2 levels, then going back to fight Ifrit, I just barely beat the motherfucker. But let me tell you, man, this game, it is so fucking aggressive with its microtransactions. The second I lost to, like, Ifrit, like, because I kept trying to retry and just went back to the menu, dude, predatory as fuck, not even gonna lie. Hey, buy this booster pack to help raise your character level and strength for not even fucking joking, dude. Not even joking. The most predatory microtransactions I've ever seen in my life exist in this game. Chris, my coworker Chris downloaded the game because he was tired of listening to me bitch about it. He spent the first 40 minutes just claiming all the free shit and getting through all the nonsense like microtransaction ad pop-ups that it has before he even got to start the fucking game. It's not good. Wow. It's not good.
A craniotomy while being conscious sounds more entertaining than this.
It's not good. I'm not happy. Like, beyond, like, you know how when you're a kid and you really piss off your parents and they go, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed? You know, like, if you ever got hit with that, no, fuck that. I'm rage-filled. I'm not disappointed. I am infuriated. This is bullshit.
I would snap my phone in half if it wasn't my phone.
So I already uninstalled once. And let me caution you, if you're going to do that, do not reinstall because it does not pick up your save data. You start from scratch. So I uninstalled when it kicked me out and said, like, oh, you've got to play First Soldier to get back into Final Fantasy VII. And I was like, fuck it. All right, hold on. I'm going to give this one saving grace. I was like, I'm going to give this one chance. I'm going to get back to the main story content. And if it does it again and says, nope, you've got to stop and go play this one, done. Completely done. Yeah, dude, I'm a fucking masochist. I've discussed this with my wife. I'm a sadist masochist. I got it. I understand the torture I put my body through. I like spicy foods. Get at me. So I finally beat Ifrit. And then guess what, right? So when I asked Tony, and this is another question I got for him. It's another fucking question. I asked him if this was the full game. Now, to be fair, I should have clarified. If Ever Crisis was going to be all the games all the way full. Yeah, after you beat Ifrit and you unlock Future Soldier or First Soldier, where you used to click to go into the missions, it says, please wait for future updates. There is no story content for Crisis Core past beating Ifrit currently. So that's a thing.
It's literally just an episodic money grab.
And on top of that, that has me even more concerned because when you look at the character roster, let me tell you, Yuffie isn't in it, Sid isn't in it, Vincent isn't in it, Kate Sif isn't in it. So I'm sitting here going,
BP, please.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, I don't think the base game is complete in this either. I think the only story that is complete is probably the one that they only announced right before launch, which is Sephiroth's story. And again, fucking spoiler alert, you don't fucking play as Sephiroth. It has nothing to do... Dude, I am like 12 missions into that at this point, and it has nothing to fucking do with Sephiroth. They haven't even mentioned Sephiroth at all. And his picture, when you go to click, dude, when you go to click on the campaign, it's his fucking picture.
Wow.
What the fuck is that?
Square Enix still owns Final Fantasy, right? Or is that one of the IPs that they sold off to?
No, they definitely still own it. Yeah, they definitely. Okay. Here's the thing I gotta wonder, right? Is so who actually built the game? Who actually developed the game?
EA? I feel like Square Enix saw COD just like
and said, hold my beer.
Story content, and it was like, if you want to unlock these characters, it's going to be 2,400 COD points. Square Enix was like, we can do that too.
So,
oh my god.
Yeah, so I believe that it literally just has Square Enix name slapped on it because they own it, and Applebot Inc. is who I believe actually developed this game because their name pops up in the opening title. It's their name in Square Enix. Applebot, Applibot Inc. I think they're the ones that actually built this game, and I think they're horrible humans that need to be flayed alive and quartered and sent to the four quarters of the world. Dude,
Just let them know how you feel,
bro. Look, man. You're fucking with one of the most beloved Final Fantasy games of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Dude, it's so bad. It's so bad that I'm like, I almost want to email and just put in the subject line to Anthony and just be like, have you gotten any good feedback? Like, have there been any positives other than the graphics are really good and it plays well on mobile? Like, I'm genuinely curious if there's anybody out there that has anything good to say about this game, because, dude, let me tell you, I would have rather, let me be clear here, I'm going to go on fucking record and say this, and I really, really hope somewhere, someday, somebody grabs this soundbite and this becomes a thing. I would have rather paid $50 flat out to have that game and not have any microtransactions, anything like that, where it was literally just FF7, FF7 Crisis Core, FF7 Future Soldier, or First Soldier, whatever the fuck, all in one game, no fucking microtransactions. I would have paid console game prices, but that's not enough for people who make mobile games. They want all the fucking money, not just a lot of it. 500 million, bro. 500 million downloads is how much this game has downloaded.
At this point, it makes more sense to just download the old PlayStation ROMs and play them on your phone.
Yeah. Dude, it's so supremely disappointing.
You can upscale them to make it look like what I presume the mobile game looks
No,
like.
the mobile game actually looks really good. In combat, it's one for one the sprites from the remake game. So it is literally in combat. It is, and then like the actual graphics for the world and the characters in like the overworld, quote unquote.
They're like upscaled.
They look really good. I'll be honest. Like graphically, the game looks really solid in both combat and out of combat. The problem is it's not the whole fucking game. Like it isn't. And the microtransactions are predatory as fuck. When you launch the game, it tells you like 3 different sales going on. It's like, oh, buy this, oh, buy this, oh, buy this. When you complete a mission, it's like, oh, hey, try this out. Buy this for your characters to make them start. Dude, it's
buy this
so
pack to get double XP per mission.
It's so predatory. It's disgusting.
It honestly kind of reminds me of the old days of COD Mobile before everybody decided to sue COD Mobile, the devs for it.
Yeah.
And now they're still predatory, but they're a little less upfront about it.
I was really looking forward to this being the mobile game to like end all mobile games. And
Shrug on my shoulders again, listeners.
Yeah. He's got him in his ears. They're just fucking digging in like Q-tips, just going deep into those canals.
My headphones right off.
Yeah.
Just going straight up. This honestly this is the one thing that I'm kind of like, what's the term? I don't know, worried about, I guess. I'll just use that. For that Division mobile game that's got Resurgence or whatever it's called. It's supposed to be like a full console quality Division game.
Yeah, we'll see.
On your phone with, it's supposed to it's typical Division shit. You get like story updates and things like that. But mobile gaming has landed itself in this like shitty predatory ecosystem.
Yep.
That I feel like everything that's going to come out moving forward is just going to be that.
Dude, everybody wants things for free. I think is like the bottom line. Everybody wants the game for free. And honestly, it's the same thing with like Facebook. Like when Facebook got found out that they were basically like taking all your information and selling it to ad companies. Oh, yeah. It's like, well, yeah, of course they fucking were. It was free. If it was a paid service, they wouldn't have it would not have the adoption rate it had, and you would never
have a fall off rate of an abysmal amount.
Yeah. And you wouldn't have to worry about your data being stolen and sold to businesses because they are generating revenue off of what you're paying. And like, I really wish I could get into game design specifically for phones and just be like, nah, fuck it. We're making single purchase games. You buy it, it's your fucking game. It's no different than a fucking console or a PC at that point. Like, if that could become the norm, mobile gaming would be so much fucking better. But because everybody wants the game for free, dude, I don't know. Like, I think the best game on mobile is KOTOR. Because you buy it and it is the fucking game rebuilt for mobile, exactly as it was on PC and Xbox and everything else, just designed for the handheld. And that's probably the best game on the phone, because it's not predatory. It's not fucking stupid waste your time mechanics and shit like that.
Yeah. This kind of reminds me of was it Train Sim 2020 or 2021 or something like that? If you wanted to unlock every single part of the game, that includes like extra maps, the rest of the railroad, basically, and like every train type, every fucking passenger car, just everything. 10 grand on Steam.
Jesus Christ.
The base game is $50, and then if you want everything else that should come with the game, 10 grand.
How is that allowed to happen, dude? That is disgusting.
Did the whole video where they were just ripping into this fucking game.
Jesus.
It was hilarious. If I can find it again, I'll send it to you. But Jesus Christ, that's basically mobile gaming.
Yeah, that's just mobile gaming as a whole at this point. Is I don't know, man. I don't know why this became so acceptable in mobile gaming. I guess because the idea is like make the game free and the people, but
how can we attract as many people we can feasibly think about or want to our platform, and then also monetize them?
Yeah,
that's the train of thought.
Yeah, it's awful.
If I can segue out of this, into
please do. Take us away, Mike.
Sony is finally, after like 2 years, updating their PlayStation Premium and Extra tier. So now they're adding more PS2 emulation to the cloud stuff. Starting with, because I think at the time we only had like the first 3 or 4 Jak and Daxters, right? Let me pull this up really quick.
Is there 4 of those? There's 3, and then there's Jak X, and then there's Daxter.
The cart.
Yeah.
Fucking racer.
Jak X. Yeah, Jak X. And then there's Daxter from the PSP, but that wasn't a PS2 game. So, and then there was the new one. Wasn't there like a New Frontier? Was that a PS3 game? Jak.
I think. But yeah, here it says that. I mean, pretty much what I was going to say, that all the classic PlayStation fans were pretty pissed off when they announced this initially, like back when they were going to do the whole rebrand, because PS1 and PSP games were getting monthly editions, and PS2 emulation was just kind of like, second, like an afterthought.
Yeah.
But apparently they're supposed to be picking up on that. So this is all based on a leak that came from a reputable insider. Can I just
insert a little? Here's a pro tip for you gamers out there that are slightly savvy. Go buy a PS3. Just do a little bit of research. You can literally use the internal web browser on the PS3 to jailbreak it now. It's been that way for a while. You want to play PS2 emulation? Get a PS3. It's the best way to do it. Just a tip. Just a tip.
There's a guy on YouTube that makes super layman tutorials. They're about 20 minutes. They really don't take too much to follow along to. I think his YouTube is called like Bad Mario or something like that.
Nice.
Because he used to modify Nintendo consoles. But now he also modifies Sony consoles. He shows you how to JTAG Xbox consoles if you're sufficient enough to know how to solder things. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
With PS3 jailbreaks, you can basically just load up a PlayStation 2 disc or a PS1 disc, and it will just run.
Yeah. And the jailbreak now is so easy with their last firmware. I feel like they did it on purpose, and they just made it so you could actually like jailbreak the console through the web browser. Because when I was doing jailbreaks, you had to open up the console, flash the firmware back to moddable like none of that anymore, man. You literally plug the thing in, hook it up to your internet, and download a freaking jailbreak. Like, it's so stupid simple. If you want a jailbreak system, get a PS3. It's generally the slim, not the super slim, the like 3rd generation or 2nd generation George Foreman style. The 120s are the best one to go with. I think that serial number run, they were like the best in terms of like reliability and longevity and stuff like that.
They're all for sure moddable. But the 2nd gen or even the 1st gen slim line, I would say, those are much easier. For our non savvy listeners, the first-gen Slimline is the PS3 that kind of looks like a turtle shell and has the chrome reflection around the power and eject button. That's the first-gen Slim model.
Yeah, that's the George Foreman, I usually call it, because it kind of looks like a George Foreman grill. Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, those are great. I still have one. Still have it jailbroken. Have like 3 terabytes of games downstairs.
Nice.
Yeah. The majority of this of the PS3 catalog across 2 terabyte drives.
Yeah, you can even get DLCs installed for like the old CODs and just jam out on zombies maps and shit like that.
Good times.
Sheets and just go through all the maps at like super speed for no reason, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, so the PS5 cloud streaming classic stuff is apparently gonna get a PS2 overhaul pretty soon.
Cool.
According to this leak.
Cool.
That's all I really had to say about that.
All right. Just a quick little blurb. This is kind of an awkward episode. I can respect that. So like, you guys.
Tim like quit.
Yeah, Tim just fucking quit. So.
Another, I guess.
Mike literally jumped into this episode 2 minutes before we started recording. So just a peek behind the curtain. He's like, "Do you want me to jump in?" Because we were talking in Discord. I was like, "I mean, if not, I'm doing a Russ solo."
Yeah. I guess I'll just.
Let's talk Motorfest. No, let's talk Motorfest.
Oh yeah, Motorfest.
Let's talk Motorfest.
Sure.
Fuck that shit.
So
Sony's doing Sony things. Let's talk Motorfest.
I want to preface this in saying that I am for sure a GT Sport and Forza snob. So like I'll play like Need for Speed and The Crew or whatever, just because I have a wheel. So if I'm just bored and want to kill time, I'll play it.
You're leaning too far back. Your mic keeps cutting in and out.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Crew Motorfest, I have been kind of keeping an eye on it for a little while now because it looked like the idea of Forza, but for all consoles, not just Xbox and PC.
Right.
And kind of retained a little bit of that Crew arcadey feel, but also the car, like the physics, they rework the physics so things feel more weighty. Drifting is still a complete shit show in that game. It's always been a shit show.
Good to know that hasn't changed.
It definitely feels heavier now for sure, but it still doesn't feel like it feels too heavy, if that makes sense. They completely reworked all of the engine sounds and all of the sounds of like the turbos and the superchargers and stuff and all the cars and even the motorcycles, dirt bikes, boats, airplanes. Everything actually sounds basically correct. There's one graph I have where there's like a couple bike models. I think both of them are from Indian. They don't sound the way they should. For some reason in Motorfest they sound like dirt bikes, and it's not how Indians sound.
No, it's not.
They definitely don't sound like Harleys, but they definitely don't sound like quads, you know?
Definitely not. I hear enough Indians driving around here to know what they sound like.
Yeah. So that's probably like my only gripe with the game so far. I don't know. I mean, it's a good refresh on the Crew,
okay,
for sure.
See, so
it also includes a 5-hour trial. So, and that's on all consoles: PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. Everybody gets a 5-hour trial. And if you like the game and you buy it, everything that you did in those 5 hours carries over to the full game.
That's nice. So I will say this: I think I reviewed the Crew 2 for Coin Drop back in the day, and I was not a fan.
It
I
wasn't.
Still to this day think the best arcade racer is Midnight Club LA. Nothing's really dethroned that for me. Everything's been kind of a disappointment.
The only thing I would say is better than that is Midnight Club 3 Double Edition.
Now that's some fighting words there, because that's a Duke Fest. That's Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting it out, man. That's like which one's actually better. But yeah, like LA and 3 Dub Edition were fantastic racing sims. Arcade racer sims. And I've been hesitant on buying Forza Horizon 3. I hear it's great, but it still just doesn't look... It doesn't have that street vibe to it, right? Like, a lot of what I see is, like, it's open world, but it's not like... Like, LA was great because it was LA City, right? It was the underground street racing scene, and that felt niche, I guess. And now everything's like, do everything all at once. And it's like, I don't necessarily want to.
So, Forza Horizon 4 kind of... So, Forza Horizon 3 introduced the, like, street racing, like, underground type thing.
Yeah.
But they didn't really get too deep with it. Forza Horizon 4 was kind of a rehash. I mean, it was there, but it didn't really have
anything new.
It didn't add to anything.
Right.
5, on the other
Jesus,
hand,
are they on 5? Holy fuck, where have I been?
We're on
Jesus.
Forza Horizon 5
God damn it. I've been asleep at the wheel.
5 is actually... The street racing stuff is pretty damn good. I actually find myself doing more street races than I do the, like, festival shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if it does more XP or more cash or anything like that, but it's a good change, you know.
Yeah.
If you're versus like being on a set path, so you could totally be a dick and just like if there's like a U curve that continues and you just fucking cut through while all your opponents are going around the curve and you're just like fuck that, you just launch through. I would say if you want something, it's also it doesn't have as much sim as 3 and 4 did. It definitely has.
Yeah, it's more arcadey.
Toggle that you can turn on if you want to go full sim mode. It's still not full sim.
Yeah, I mean it's never going to be Gran Turismo. It's Gran Turismo is your full sim. Yeah.
Yeah. It's worth it. I mean, it's on Game Pass.
Yeah. So Starfield. Maybe one day I'll pay that and get those.
Just to kind of go back to the Crew Motorfest really quick. If you are a player of the Crew 2, I believe they're still getting content for at least a little bit. All of the stuff that you have unlocked and continue to unlock in the Crew 2 carries over to the Crew Motorfest. So all the cars, if you have like, I think I have like something like 600 cars on my Crew 2 save, all of them are going to be, I should say, actually, on the Crew Motorfest because they haven't implemented every vehicle yet. But as they continue to update them and add more vehicles, if you have that vehicle unlocked, it will automatically put it in your inventory, and that includes your like special edition ones. So like I have a couple Dodge Chargers. I have one that's like a red edition, like a underground edition or something like that. Those two showed up for me right away.
Is Motorfest not on Steam?
No.
Weird.
I think that's one of the games where they have timed exclusivity on Epic Games, but it is also on their own launcher.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Because I was looking it up. I'm like, am I spelling Motorfest wrong? Like, what the fuck is happening right now? Okay, so that's good to know. So is it still like open world, do everything all at once kind of shit, the way Crew 2 was?
Yes, but it's a lot smaller. So they're definitely going for quality over quantity.
Yeah. So I remember driving through Denver, and then like all of a sudden I was in Reno because they're like, drive the whole world, and I'm like, you really shrunk the whole world here, guys.
Yeah. So this time it takes in Hawaii on a fictional island. And I gotta say, even though it's kind of like fictional, air quotes, it's a pretty accurate representation of what Hawaii looks like, honestly.
So like it's almost like the Big Island, the main island.
Yeah,
like it's a big island. Okay.
There's a few different biomes. There's like a palm tree beachfront area. Then you drive little ways inland, and you're coming across the large open field where there's like nothing but crop and farms. Keep driving up towards the foothills, and you'll come across the like volcanic area, and like everything's covered in ash and like black mud. They really went all out on it.
Gotcha.
I actually am really enjoying the game, which is weird because the first two games were definitely like second thought for me.
Yeah, there was one game. Oh God, what was it called? Is it Drift? No, it wasn't Drift. There was a game.
RX Online?
No. It was. Oh God, what was it called? I remember playing it. It was one of the few I played on PC for a while. Grid. It was Grid.
Oh yeah.
Grid was really cool. And then I went to Crew, and I was like, this one's not so great. But I did like Grid a lot. Like dude, again, I'm looking for something to dethrone Midnight Club. Like the legacy that Need for Speed Underground started, like that legacy died with LA. And since Need for Speed is still a thing, I don't understand why they haven't brought that back. Like Underground laid the groundwork for amazing street racing games, and they really haven't like gone back to that version, and I don't understand why. They've done like 12 different versions of fucking Hot Pursuit and like Burnout, and I'm like, why?
No, I honestly think there's a couple reasons why they're not going back to Underground 2. One of the biggest reasons is that dev studio doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Also, the structure that Underground 2 had was very, player forward. So if you want your car to look a specific way, whether it be some weird fucking like neon amalgamation of like 6 different things, or with like a fucking clown horn, like you could do that.
Yep.
But this kind of goes back to the whole like microtransaction talk, where it's like they could make that game, but then how are they going to monetize it? Because they can't be like.
I hate that. I hate that that's a question.
Your car to this way that you want it.
I hate that question.
Beyond that, but then now you have to spend $20 for like this special edition rim set, or like $10 for this super fancy, weird looking bumper.
I hate that. I hate that, dude. I hate that that's a question that gets brought up in fucking board discussions about video games. I fucking hate that.
How can we monetize it? Yeah. Which I'm going to use that as a segue to talk about the drama with Unity, or I'm just running the podcast tonight. Like,
well, before we jump there, Strix jumped into the chat and said, "Have we yelled at things about FF mobile game?" Yes, we already passed the yelling about Final Fantasy Ever Crisis, Strix. Unfortunately, you missed that.
Yeah.
We're moving on to yelling about Unity. So, Mike, let's yell at Unity.
So I don't know if you've kept up with it. I've kind of fell off keeping up with it, because it's just pure fucking chaos, bro. Like, I'm at work, like on my 10-minute break, and I'm just reading, and I'm like, okay, I can't, like, I'm done. So apparently one of the former developers for EA, the guy who during a board meeting said we should charge players $1 to reload their weapons.
What the? Throw that man out the window. Throw that man out the fucking window.
Yeah, so that guy is the head CEO, or he basically fucking owns the company that is Unity.
No.
They all had this consensus idea, whatever fucking amalgamation, to basically come up with a new payment system for Unity for the developers.
No, I don't like this.
It's something like after 200,000 installs, you have to start paying.
No, I don't like this, Mike. Don't do this to me. No, I don't like this. Oh God, I hate it already. After 200,000 installs, okay.
I'm trying to find it up now.
Granted, that's a lot, but like.
Okay. So it's 20 cents per install after 200,000 installs, and the problem that people have with this, I mean, there's many fucking problems that people have with this, but the biggest one is that they didn't clarify if that counts towards shady installs.
Yeah.
Legal installs. Also, if people are just fucking mad at developers and they're just like, uninstall, install, uninstall, install, uninstall. Oh, no! So now you can talk all your shit with their wallet.
Oh, no! Wait, hold on. Let me do a quick Google. Hang on. What engine does Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis use? Unity. It uses Unity. Yes. Yes. Oh. Okay. No, this is a good thing. I like this guy. I am, dude. All for the rest of my life, uninstall, install. I got quick internet, man. I can do that 70 times a day. Like let's eat it.
So there was a developer that was it Don't Starve Together or no, it was Slay the Spire.
Okay.
I think it was Slay the Spire. He came out and he was like, yeah, so I would owe Unity $2.4 million.
Jesus.
And they're not a big studio.
Yeah.
That's like bankrupt money.
Yeah.
So now there's a bunch of game developers, indies and large developers that are trying to basically jump ship and port all their stuff over to like Unreal Engine and another game engine that's super not well known.
Yeah.
That I can't remember the name of.
Well, that's so the biggest shame there is Unity was like the haven for indie games. Like it was cheap, It was affordable, it was usable, it was super compatible. Like Unity was great. So like on a serious note, like that fucking sucks that they're basically ripping away any possibility of indies who are the majority users. Probably on a pie chart, you probably got a Pac-Man size that is indie developers, and then like the slices eating, Pac-Man. There you go, right there.
And then the story gets more crazy because
oh god,
oh man. So obviously everybody was like, what if people pirate my game?
Mm-hmm.
Which is really fucking common with Unity games.
Yes.
Every time someone downloads it and installs it, is that gonna count as a check towards my total installs as the developer of the game?
It's a good question.
Another question that came up was, what about Game Pass games that are built on Unity? There's literally Microsoft just announced, I think yesterday, that they now have 3 million subscribers like on Game Pass. Or, yeah, something like that. So imagine if even 1% of those people downloaded a Unity game. Like, then what?
Yeah.
So they came out and they said that, I guess, anything that counts towards, like, Game Pass or a bundle, like Humble Bundle, those don't count towards your total install amount, apparently. They were extremely vague with the...
Yeah, of course they were.
The piracy one, they were kind of just like, our existing fraud detection system would prevent this, but then they didn't elaborate on how the fuck that would work.
Black magic.
So, that was the whole thing. Now today, 2 days later, they've closed two of their 3 or 4 largest studios due to death threats.
Ooh.
From the developers of games that I will not mention because we don't need to.
Yeah, we don't need to
return that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they were actually going to even hold like a whole town hall for like one of their local HQs. They were going to rent out the entire town hall and have like a whole Q&A AMA type thing, and they can't do that because people were sending death threats to them there as well. So Unity is just fucking falling apart.
Wow.
People are jumping ship. They're getting death threats. Like, it's crazy.
I feel sorry for the devs of Unity. Like, get the fuck out of there. Get the fuck out of there.
Like, if you happen to be a dev at Unity and are listening to this, some fucking how?
Yeah. Tell your friends.
Dip out, bro.
Tell your friends.
Dip out. Tell your friends. Tell your coworkers. Y'all need to just dip the fuck out of there. Go make a competing free platform and
in the words of
monetize it in a more sensible way after that.
In the words of Mark Wahlberg, tell your mom I said hi. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. So yeah, it's been fun, man. It's been very dramatic weak in the gaming industry for sure.
Yeah. I think honestly, like in all seriousness, it's the devs get the fucking shit end of everything because they are. I don't know what people think, but why they think that devs are always the ones who are making decisions is beyond me.
I have noticed this time around that articles and other people who are making like YouTube clips and shit about it, all the news, they are actually taking the time to mention that it's this fucker from EA that moved to Unity.
Yeah.
It's this guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
Yeah. But like I think that's something that like gamers need to understand. You know, my brother works at Bungie. I've got a friend, they're in the Discord that works at Bungie, and when I was in Seattle, it was almost like wearing gang colors when they wore their dev team shirt. It's like, no joke, dude. Like, it's almost like, it's like people come up to you and be like, oh, you work on, they're like, oh, you work on Destiny? And it's like, either this guy's going to stab me or he's going to shake my hand. And it's like, dude, you understand, like, these people don't make the decisions on what happens to the game. And more often than not, the devs are probably more mad about it than you are because they're the first line that gets all the hate and the death threats and the rage. Like, there's people way up the chain making these decisions. Don't be mad at the fucking devs. They're just doing their job. That's the same kind of idiocy of like being mad at soldiers because the government used the military in a fucked up way. Like, you got to understand, this is a tool and it is being used in an unacceptable way. You blame the wielder, not the tool. Not saying that like devs and soldiers are tools. Like, I mean, one is, but he's in the chat and he knows he's a tool.
So yeah, that whole thing. I mean, I have a feeling that
he said I resemble that remark.
I have a feeling that in the coming weeks or months that Unity is either going to completely just their studios are just going to shut down.
Yeah.
All their stuff is going to go into archive.
Yeah.
Or GitHub. Oh my god, that's the other thing. Okay, so
one more thing. Their
TOS at one point had a section in it that said anybody on the old payment system was exempt, more or less.
Okay.
They removed that part of their TOS
motherfuckers.
And didn't tell anybody.
Motherfuckers.
They also took down the GitHub page for what is it? It's like a specific build. It's like a free build, basically.
Gotcha.
It's like a
like a test build or something. Prototype build. Something.
Yeah, a depreciated.
Okay, gotcha.
That GitHub is gone.
Dude, this guy is dirty. This guy is so dirty.
Nobody, bro. And that's the other thing is that this was a question that came up, right? The other devs were like, if I'm on this existing payment plan with you guys, how does this new thing affect this old thing? And they were like, oh yeah, it doesn't. And then like they just removed that part of TOS and didn't fucking tell anybody.
So what you're telling me is this guy saw what Rockstar did with GTA Online and said, hold my beer. Mike has turned around in his chairs, listeners. He's just fucking given up.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God. So I'm also expecting some class action lawsuit to just...
Oh, it's gotta be. Yeah, it's gotta happen.
The biggest thing with that is like you can't remove something from your terms of service and not fucking update anybody on it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure every time
federal law.
Every time that the terms of service changes, you have to resubmit it to your consumers. Like that's absolutely a federal law. Like I could talk to my wife and she'd probably confirm that because she's smarter than me and does that kind of shit. But
no email was sent out. No fucking news posting was made on their Twitter or X or whatever the fuck we're gonna call it now.
Yeah.
On their blog, nothing was posted on it. It was removed and.
Man took a page. Hi. Oh. That was my wife. Man took a page right out of Rockstar's playbook. Just we're gonna remove content and put it behind this paywall and not tell anybody about it. We're gonna remove your free build, your demonetized build. and not tell anybody. We're going to change your terms of service and not tell anybody.
Already on a payment plan with this? Get fucked.
Get good,
That's
scrub.
basically what happened.
So, I mean, this is kind of good. Not really good news, but this is kind of, in a roundabout way, it's kind of cool, good news for gamers, because that, in theory, means we're going to see more games built on Unreal 5, and Unreal 5 is fantastic, and I want more things built on Unreal 5. So if Unity basically nukes itself, which it's gonna, it already has, arguably, we should see Unity a lot of studios move to Unreal. Yeah, no, they went beyond nuking the fridge. They nuked the radiator. I don't fucking know. Something. They nuked it all.
Nuking themselves in a vacuum. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, They put the burrito in the microwave and sent it off into space. Just making shit up as I go at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Unity's fucking doing. So.
Yeah. I can't believe, dude, I forgot that was a thing. Until you said it was the guy who was like, let's charge players $1 to reload their guns. I forgot that was legitimately something somebody said at one point. Like, yeah, that's one of those internet myths that's like, yeah, if you beat Legend of Zelda quick enough, you unlock a handgun. Like, it's one of those. It's asinine, but this one just happens to be true. And this man is in charge of Unity, and he's nuking it. I guarantee Rockstar's like, hold on. Let's see what happens here.
Just with an hourglass, just like waiting. While this situation does suck for the developers that make indie games and post them on like Game Jolt and shit like that, I will say that this is the one time that I will blanketly accept the pushback that gamers as a community and even the developers of the games that the gamers are playing are just brute forcing into the fucking like CEO and like all these fucking people that were in the meeting and didn't say this is a bad idea. I'm not saying that the death threats are cool. That's fucking shitty.
Yeah.
But I mean, all the people that are going to their Twitter and being like, you guys fucked up. Like, you're going to be gone in like a year.
Yeah.
I fully fucking agree with that.
Yeah, 100%. That's a good way to voice your frustration and your disappointment and aggravation in a healthy way that is not necessarily threatening. Like, you're going to be gone in a year is still threatening, but it's not like, I'm going to fucking kill you and you're going to not exist in a year, bitch. Like, it's two different, two completely different tones, right? Like, two completely different tones.
It's just your finances are going to be bled out, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, speaking of finances bled out, I am going to be running over this month. So, since we're already almost an hour into this episode, as well as our last episode, I think that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for listening, and please make sure you share us with your friends if you enjoy this content at all. That's the best way to help us. I really do want to go back to PAX next year and other conventions as media, and your guys' support and helping us grow in the freest way possible, just telling your friends, hey, if you're a gamer, check this podcast out. You might like it. It really means the world to us. It does. It helps us grow, and the bigger we get, man, the more we can do fun shit. Right? Like, I love this, and I will never stop doing it, and I will pay for it until I am homeless. Probably not. My wife would kill me. But I will pay for it as long as I can afford to do it. But having some financial support of having good viewership and being able to go to conventions is always awesome. With that, Mike, any final thoughts?
Say hi to your mom for me.
That's a wrap.